Now we're on.
Hello, YouTubers. Joe and Paul here of Joe and Paul, and 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 as we generally try to be, although we maybe failed a bit here recently, we're here with stories, and Paul has some good ones today. Here with Paul.
Okay, the big soccer time weekend. There were three different soccer teams. In the end, we've got these kids. They're running from like about 8, 9 years of age up to like 14, 15. All right, their parents were with them, but then their families also came down to watch the games. Well, they motored down in their big motorhomes. So they filled up the back lot, all the motorhomes. Well, since their families were staying in the hotel for the game, they're camping out in the backyard, and they thought they should be allowed to come in and like go to our complimentary free breakfast and stuff and eat all they can eat for free. And just as though they were a guest in the hotel, but it not being a guest in a hotel. Their brothers and sisters and their children were the guests in the hotel. They just like you would be staying here and you had a relative in town and they happen to just stop by and see you at the end. All right, that's good. You know, they can visit with you, hang out in the lobby and that. And you guys can take off, go shopping or whatever. But these characters thought they could use the pool, use the fitness room, use the hot tub, eat free breakfast, all that. And nobody knew what to say to them. We didn't know how to say, you know, what? You're not paying to be here and to get all this free stuff. So what do we tell them? So we just kept our mouths shut about them and let them do what they wanted.
And there were other conundrums today.
All right, had a goose. She's living right out by the pool. She's just outside the glass wall. The pool is enclosed in glass. All right, well, she's decided she's going to nest in the mulch. She's dug back the mulch and everything, made a hole, and she laid her eggs.
How many eggs?
Just two.
Oh, just two.
Yeah, but they're giant.
Oh, yeah, they're big. Yeah.
And so somebody ran her off her nest last night.
Low
After
lives.
I left around 4:30.
Low lives. Low lives.
They ran her off the nest. Well, they buried the eggs. Well, I kept catching her all day. She was always just, this morning, she kept just standing here. So I went out, went around the pool, looked out the window.
It's very sad.
The mulch is all back the way, the way it goes and stuff. And she's standing there, she's looking down at the ground, like, where'd my house go? So, the weekend maintenance guy, he went out and he thought he would check to see if the eggs were still left where they were or if somebody had actually taken the eggs out and chucked them in the trash and then filled in the nest. Well, she got mad and started beating the snot out of him. So
they do that,
He came back in. So I was back in the pool about an hour later. She's not there. I hurry up, I run in, I get a pair of rubber gloves that I deal with when I'm emptying the trash can or wear when I'm working in the kitchen. So I run back out, shoot around, shoot through the pool, go out the back door of the pool, go over to the flower bed, go digging in the mulch. Boom. There's the eggs. I dug all the mulch back up out and everything, wearing plastic gloves. That way she's not going to get cinnamon on her and get mad. So that she still never come back all day. Well, then like about 5:35,
Worrisome.
I looked out the back one. I looked down the back hall past the elevators because you can look straight out through the pool and there she'd be by the end table on the pool deck. And there she was. She was sitting right back on the nest. She did come back. She did see her eggs. And she took her rightful seat and thrown back. She claimed her turf again. And I hope she stays this time.
Well, I hope it works.
Yeah, well, I hope somebody doesn't show up and bury their...
Well, there are a lot of lowlifes around. There's no question about that.
So I told the assistant manager about this. Well, she wanted to actually see it. Because I had told her how large the eggs were and giant and all that. She wanted to see it. I didn't know she was afraid of water. I mean, walking around the pool made the girl dizzy as shit. She starts reaching out and grabbing on me to hang on me. Because she's swaying.
That would have been a very weighty bit of ballast if she was hanging on you.
She says, wow, this is neat. She says, get me out of here before I fall in the pool because somehow you're going to have to get one of those handicap lifts over to me and get me up and out of here. And I said, that would be a good trick.
It really sounds like something out of Wild Kingdom for some of these folks, but there we are.
So they did get her out of the pool area.
Well, so she didn't collapse in the glass.
No, the system manager
Did you get to see Did she see the egg site?
She saw the eggs. She said,
that's good. That's
my
good.
heavens, they look like giant rocks.
Well, they're very...
I said, well, they're not.
Goose eggs are very large, hence the slang use of the term.
They would take up the whole space of a quart mayo jar.
Well, those are unusually large. I was thinking today...
Isn't that what size the pickled eggs are in?
Slightly less than a quart. I was thinking today on the way from church that, excuse me, the physiologic cost to a female goose when she lays one of these egg clutches, and some of them will lay, upwards of
12.
Well, yes. That's got to be very, you consider how depleting a human fetus is to a human female, let alone twins or whatever.
Yeah.
Extra nonsensical multiple
Twins
births
if
they do in vitro this and that. You get a very zealous female goose, and she's putting all this stuff out there on the ground. Say 8 or 9. And they're big birds, but I mean, she's got to metabolize and produce all this. This has got to be a huge physiologic cost for this individual.
But the more multiple the chicks, the smaller the eggs are.
Well, that can be the case. Yes, that can be the case.
Yeah, because
these two, this pair have put in this. They've decided to use. Or their programming is set to. We're going to use the idea, well, like humans, we're only going to have 1 or 2 or 3 and devote a
we're
lot
only
of
going to have a
attention.
couple of kids because they're expensive for feeding and clothing them.
Well,
and sending them to school.
Well, maybe they're planning on sending these guys to Kenyon College rather than Ohio State.
Yeah, private school. Give them private education.
Well, or maybe they're saying they're going to have to pay real estate taxes up here in Olentangy School District.
Yes, it is where the end is set.
Well, yes, actually, it is in the Olentangy School District, despite the tax abatements and all that nonsense. So, let's see. I think so. There we go. Now, I've been watching the Masters today on the internet, which is always fun because I explained that in an earlier video. Now, I went to church. Went to the 8 o'clock today, and I'll tell you, the rector gave one of the finest sermons I've ever heard. Well, it's in the top 10. It's probably in the top 7 or 10 or 5. But to listen to this man, I would have thought I was in a Protestant church. It dealt with the scripture. It dealt with the conversion of Saul on the road to Damascus, and he used it as a bookend between that and then the last chapter of John, and there wasn't a single bad poem or an internet video story or a TV show story or now. He did quote a Washington Post article right at the start, but after that was it. So I'll let that one fly. So at the piece, I said to him, this was dead on profound, and it was. I mean, if this fella could preach like that every Sunday and confine himself to the texts rather than, this would be just magnificent. So. Paul seems to be having a neurologic spell there. Well, anyway, one more brief point, and then I'll shut up. I talked to my ex-wife today about this computer stuff. Now, yesterday I talked to her as well, and she was making some progress. She had actually ventured to read through the book a bit and turn it on and do stuff. So inevitably, there was always going to be some more. We had to sort of replow, already plowed ground today, but still in the realm of the rational without the hysterical rejection tone. So there's hope. There's hope. We're traveling in hope. I'm traveling in hope. She says to me today, you knew I'm going to do this.
I'm not quite getting the hang of it.
No.
I have questions.
No, I said, if you're going to do this, you take the most alert intellectual time of the day, which is in the morning. Now for her, the morning is like 12:30 in the afternoon.
But when you get up,
and you get squared away, and you've had your various physiologic evacuations and cleaned yourself up and all that, and you sit down, then you devote your intellectual efforts to this for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on your stamina. And then, okay, so you said, I've had that learning experience for the day. And then you can go and read the Columbus Dispatch. And you can read all sorts of one-sentence paragraphs talking about somebody's hurt feelings, or somebody noticed a problem, or some politician on the make. You can read about that all you want, but don't spend the best part of your brain day doing that. Well, that suggestion didn't go very well because she claimed that she had to just have this Columbus Dispatch experience. And I said, well, one reason I didn't subscribe to the Wall Street Journal early on after I got my device was because I didn't want to be beguiled into reading the Wall Street Journal when I could be learning about how to use my device. Well, just at a certain point, you have to know how to cut your losses and shut up. So I think that's what I'm going to do right now. Anything else, Paul?
Well, in case a lot of you don't know, the Columbus Dispatch used to be a normal-sized newspaper.
Well, it still
And
is.
now it's about the size
they've cut it
of
down.
an economic magazine.
They've cut it down to about this size.
Economic magazine, and you fold it in half.
It looks like something
you got it.
stick on the windshield of a car in a parking lot. Well, I'll tell you right now, I've read
Or
stuff.
A small for sale sign.
I've read stuff stuck on the windshield of my car in parking lots. It's far more quality than the Columbus Dispatch. And that has nothing to do with its editorial stance, which, by the way, people say it's conservative. It's not conservative. It's one of these, civic do-gooder booster, rah, 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 we're going to confiscate your property and tell you what to do with it types. So, no, it's not conservative. So, there it is. Now, having said that, I think we'll say...
I'm done.
I think we're off. And so, God bless you all. And bye-bye, YouTubers.
Have a good Sunday night.
Yes, indeed.